Is it working now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yay! Okay. All right. Thank you. I had my microphone muted. All right. This is what I was saying earlier is that I don't normally teach on YouTube. I normally teach on Zoom. The controls are a little bit different for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over, since even on the recording, none of it will be here. So thank you for bearing with me. Let's see, we're going to go back. Okay. So what I wanted to do today is give a information session about what is Operation Fit AF, what is this 365 days of a body transformation challenge that I keep talking about. Welcome here. My name is Heather. I know a lot of you have found me on YouTube or social media in some way or fashion. So I'm glad to have you here. If you're watching the replay, welcome. If you're here live, welcome. Thank you for your patience with the technical difficulties. So what I wanted to do today is just talk about just what is this idea of giving yourself a year to spend time on your goals, whatever they may be. My background, just for a little bit of information, my background is in education. I've worked with a lot of different people in various stages of their careers. And, a lot of these same principles apply. It's this principle of like you're giving yourself a year or more to achieve your goals, your personal or your professional goals. So this idea of Operation Fit AF was born from, I'm actually going to go into it on the next slide, but first let's talk about what giving yourself a year means. Giving yourself a year means you are taking a long game approach to strength, health, and consistency. That you are shifting your mindset from I'm going to lose 30 pounds in 30 days, or I'm going to get fit and be able to wear a bikini on my vacation in 6 weeks. It's shifting your mindset away from I want to look good for my class reunion that's coming up in 2 months. It's thinking more longer term. It's that mindset shift of like, this is what we're going to do for the long term. It's applying these boring basics that I like to call them. They're just the boring basics. They don't sell well on social media, but these are things that if you do them consistently over a long period of time, they work. They absolutely work. And so it's really thinking more about like, where do you want to be? Today's December 28th, 2025. Where do you want to be December 28th, 2026? It's really more thinking along those lines, because in the next year, you might experience, and you probably will experience, some sort of life fluctuations, the highs, the lows that come with being an adult, right? So these are things like a job loss, getting a new job, a divorce, getting married, a new relationship, ending a relationship. It could be, the loss of a loved one, loss of a pet. A lot of different things can happen in a year. And when you say to yourself, all right, self, I'm going to just focus in on my personal wellness for this year, knowing that when life hits the fan, it's really just more like, okay, this is just part of that journey. It's not a throw everything to the wind and I'll restart again in 6 months. So this idea of giving yourself a year actually started, I've got a bunch of pictures here that I want to kind of talk you through. This actually started when, let me go back up just a little bit here. So this picture right here in the upper left corner in the pink shirt here. So I hiked the Grand Canyon. I did a rim to rim hike from the north rim to the south rim of the Grand Canyon in one day in, October of 2022. I was in probably the best shape of my life, but I was also the heaviest I'd ever been. And you can see in the picture next to that there that I broke my leg then in January of 2023, a different hiking trip, but I broke my leg while I was hiking, broke my tibia and fibula completely in half, and I needed to be airlifted off the mountain that I was on. And that really just started this like journey of understanding patience and understanding that things take time. Now this happened in January 2023. In April of 2023, I was supposed to hike Havasupai Falls, which is, if you're not familiar with what that is. It is a Native American tribe that lives in the Grand Canyon. They allow a certain number of people every day to come down and visit their land. And I was scheduled to hike that in April of 2023. And I was telling my doctor, I was telling my physical therapist, like, I've got to be ready. I've got to be ready for this. And they were all just kind of shaking their head at me and saying, like, my doctor was like, you're looking at minimum year and a half here to recover from this injury. And you can see on the bottom left corner there, that's me. The very first day I took my walker outside and I walked to the corner of the block. And that was just the start of me going, okay, doctor said, this is how long this is going to take. Then I'm going to do a little bit every single day to get there. Okay. And then our Havasupai hike actually got pushed back to April of 2024. A lot of things with COVID, they had remodeling, all that kind of stuff went on. So we hiked it in April of 2024. It was probably one of the hardest hikes I'd ever done because it was my first major hike after breaking my leg. And when I came out of the canyon after that, that was when I said, okay, I want to lose 50 pounds. And if you look at a pound a week, it's, that's 50 weeks. So I just said to myself, all right, I'm going to take a year. I'm going to take a year and I'm going to focus on my personal health and fitness again and paying attention to my diet, paying attention to how much I'm working out, paying attention to sleep and nutrition and recovery and stress management and all of these things that I know work. I've done this before. I know it works. And so I did it for a year. I didn't tell anybody I was doing it. I just started doing it. It was very quiet. I started doing it. And I lost about 20 pounds when people started saying something to me about it. And like, they're noticing that I was losing weight. Now I'm 5'10", so it takes a little bit for me to lose and gain weight before people start noticing. So, if you're like, if you're like 5'5" and you're like, you lose 20 pounds, it's extremely noticeable. Not as noticeable when you're 5'10". So this is I call it my before and my during picture. So April 2024 to April 2025. I call that my during picture because I don't ever believe that there's like the after. There's not this like end of it. Okay. This is a lifestyle. This is something that we're doing long-term. There's going to be ebbs. There's going to be flows. But this is just showing that when you start paying attention to those boring basics, you're consistent over a long period of time, they work. This picture over here on the right, this is just, picture of me hiking. Still, again, very much in shape, but I was overweight. I wasn't comfortable in my body. I didn't like the way I looked. I was in clothing sizes that I wasn't happy with. I was very much a happy person. I knew that I wanted to lose weight, and I wanted to lose weight because I wanted to become a faster hiker. Like, I was slow. I was a slow hiker. I wanted to be faster. That's really what it just boiled down to. Okay. And so, so you do see it on the physical side of things when you start to lose weight. And many of you found me here through this video right here, where I've got the before, sort of the before and the after, in the sense that, the day I hiked the Grand Canyon is on the left side, one of the heaviest days of my life. And then on the right there, I lost 60 pounds and did a bodybuilding competition. I did that just before Thanksgiving in November of 2025. So, it's just really showing that whatever it is that you decide that you want to do, if you spend a little bit of time on it, it's going to work. And this is the idea that, giving yourself a year is because every plan works. There's plans out there. You can download plans off the internet. I've got plans on my website. There's all sorts of stuff out there, right? And every plan works until it doesn't work, right? So life happens, things go wrong. Your day gets thrown to hell. Like, there's a lot of stuff that can happen. And all of a sudden the plan that you've put together doesn't work. Okay. And this is where you focus on becoming a resilient person. That it's, I had a crappy day at work today, and I didn't plan my meals very well. So I stopped at the store and picked up a frozen pizza and had pizza for dinner tonight. And not feeling guilty about that and not letting it derail you for the next 2 weeks. Okay. And it's more about like, yeah, you know what? I had pizza. It's fine. I'm going to move on. Tomorrow is a new day. We're going to pick up and move on. Okay. And so when you have a plan, I always say this, create a plan for yourself, execute the plan. But when the plan hits the fan, have sort of this plan B, C, and D in place that, you can quickly pivot the plan if you need to. And what I've got a point here, it says different starting points, same problem. The reason I have that there is because we've got a couple of different kinds of people that come into Operation Fit AF. We've got people who are interested in losing weight, feeling a little bit more confident in their bodies, feeling like they're they want some structure, they want some accountability, they kind of feel like they might be floundering a little bit. They're like, you know what, I want to get back to my old self. I know that I'm capable of this. I just want some help doing it. I want a community of people that are doing the same thing. Okay. So we've got a couple of people that are sort of on that track, and that's where I 100% was. That's where I 100% was 2 years ago. It was just like this. I need to like reel it back in and do the things again. Okay. And focus in on them. And then we have another group of people, which is more like people that are on that path. Like they understand and have actually been doing like the whole thing, the boring basics, the long game approach. They've been doing this a year. They've been doing this for 2 years. And they want to join in on the community of people that are doing the same thing. And just what I'm calling it now is getting fitter AF. And that's kind of where I'm at right now too, is where it's like, okay, I spent the last like 2 years really just like reeling it back in and getting back to my old self. And now it's like, let's get even fitter. Okay. And fit for you is going to be different than it is going to be for me. It's going to be different than, other people that are in our community. Okay. And so when we're thinking about the long game here, we're not constantly like switching approaches. We're not just like, oh, get your phone out and be like, oh, this is a really great workout that I found on Instagram. I'm going to do this today. And then I'm going to find this workout in a magazine. And then I'm going to find this workout on a website. And you're just doing kind of like random things all over the place. And it's not really moving you forward towards whatever your goal might be. It's, if you've got a goal to run a marathon, you're doing random workouts off of Instagram, it's probably not the best approach. So what you don't want to be doing is just this constantly switching approaches that it's been 2 weeks, it's been a month, nothing's happening, nothing's working. Now you are looking at this more like, okay, I'm doing this for a year. And I'm not expecting to see those results. They might start coming in a month. They might start coming in 2 months, but you're not changing things up because it's been 2 weeks. And you know what? I'm going to go to the gym for 2 weeks and I'm not seeing anything happening. So I'm just going to quit going. Okay. We're getting rid of that mindset there. Okay. So I love. So I'm a teacher by trade. I've spent a long time working with people in education, higher education. I've worked in K-12. This is what I do. I'm a teacher. I put together frameworks. I put together little things for people to remember things. This is not something I created, but this is something that I love. And this is a rule. It's called focus. All right. Follow one course until success. All right. Follow one course until success. Focus. All right. And you can't learn what works for you if you never stick around long enough to see what the results are. You might be a person that, you're pretty experienced in life. You've been around for a decade or two, right? Some of the things that don't work, yet we still keep doing them. We still keep doing these things that we know don't work for us. And then it becomes this like, I'm just not disciplined enough, or I'm just not motivated enough, or I'm just not this enough. I'm just not that enough. When really it's more like, just stick with it and just to see, what kinds of things are actually going to work for you. And if something doesn't legitimately work for you, then don't do it. Why are you doing it? If you don't like running, why are you running? I don't like to run, but I'm trying it because I'm trying something new, right? But if there's certain activities you don't like, why are you doing it? Let's find activities that you like to do. All right. So try to stick around with something long enough that you can actually see those results. So focus, write that down. Follow one course until success, not mine. I got that from somebody else. So when we talk about change, you talk about you want to have this transformation. You want to transform your body in some way, whether it is weight loss, whether it's running a marathon or doing a hike or doing a high rocks competition or CrossFit or whatever it might be. You have some sort of goal that you have. And it might be something as simple as I want to get back into a regular workout routine. Totally simple. Okay. And so when we talk about change, I like to frame it in the context of learning. There's all sorts of people that have studied change and transformation in humans and, the different phases of change. And, are you ready for change? Are you making change happen? Are you maintaining the change? There's all sorts of stuff that goes into this. Okay. A lot of psychology, but I'm going to break it down very simple here, is that a change in behavior as a result of experience is something that we call learning. All right. So you might be somebody who reads all the books and reads all the blogs and follows all the social media accounts and takes in all of the information. And you're just like, I know what to do, but you don't necessarily do it. Or you feel like I'm just not motivated enough. I'm just not disciplined enough. It's like there's some other component to it. Right. And that just goes back to, you just haven't necessarily either stuck with something long enough to see those results, stick with it for 3 months or 6 months or even a year, right? Or B, the thing that you're doing just isn't working, but yet you keep doing it over and over and over again, right? And so what we want here is to help you figure out, how do you want to change your behavior to align to your goals as a result of the experiences that you've had in life. You've read the books, you've taken in the information, you've tried this, you've tried that, you've taken in all of this stuff, what doesn't necessarily work. All right, let's put it together and create you a plan that does work. What is the thing that you want that is going to help you get closer to your goals? Okay. So when you think about like, you're like in this mindset of, I know I need to make a change, and you might feel overwhelmed by it. Just think about this statement that just learning is a change in behavior as a result of experience. Okay. So getting that experience of knowing what works and just as important, what doesn't work for you is helping you in your journey. Okay. So, I think that, giving yourself a year, just giving yourself this mindset of like, I'm going to take all of 2025 and I'm going to focus on this one thing. I'm going to focus on getting really good at this one thing, whether it might be you want to dial in your nutrition a little bit better, or maybe you want to, like I said, maybe you want to run a marathon, or maybe you just, you want to like just feel good in your body. And you want to feel like when you're standing in the mirror after you've taken a shower and you feel confident, you feel like, yeah, it doesn't look too bad, right? It's okay to want to feel that way. All right. And so when you give yourself a year, it removes the panic. Okay. It removes the panic of, I don't know about you, but last week, I had a lot of Christmas treats and it wasn't this like, oh my God, I messed up. It's 3 days of having cookies and candies and lasagna and this stuff, right? It wasn't this just like beat myself up over it. It's 3 days out of 365. It's not a big deal. We just get back on the program. We just get back on it and do it. Okay. So it removes that panic of like, I blew it. So I'm just going to blow it even more. I heard this saying once that like, if you're doing your dishes and you drop a dish and it breaks, it shatters all over the floor, you don't just start pulling all the other dishes out of your cupboard and out of your dishwasher and out of your sink and start smashing them on the floor too. You don't just let it all go, right? So why do we do that when it comes to our healthy lifestyle habits and our choices? Okay. So having this like mindset shift of we're doing this for the long haul, a day, 3 days, not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It removes that panic. And that helps you go like, okay, yeah, you know what? I had some brownies, I had some lasagna, I had some wine, I had some things, but now we're just, Christmas is over. Let's get back to it. Let's get back to working towards whatever it is that you're working on. Okay. That's consistency. That's resilience. Resilience is where you are, okay, you drifted off course here a little bit, noticing it, and then bringing it back. All right. So what Operation Fit AF actually is, this is the idea that like you pick the goal, you pick what it is that you want to work on. It's okay if you don't know what you want to do. Say to yourself like, okay, a year from now, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to feel. This is what I want to have accomplished, whatever it might be. You define what that is. It could be you want to build more strength. It could be a fat loss goal. You want to be more consistent with your nutrition. You want to establish a regular workout routine. It might be that you're like, I don't do enough for recovery. You don't do things like stress management. Maybe you want to add in some yoga. Maybe you want to add in some breath work or going to the sauna or, something like this that helps to add a little bit to the recovery, rest days. Those are part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. Right. And there's no single definition of fit. So when I started this came from a friend of mine. We were hiking and she had asked me what it is that I was going to work on for the year. And I said, I just want to get fit AF. I'm just going to take a year and I'm going to get fit AF. And it just kind of like came out, and it was just like, it's something that I was thinking about doing. And so I was calling it Project Fit AF. And she's like, no, it's Operation Fit AF. Yes, there's our name. Okay. So what happened is I started talking about it. With friends and family. I started talking about it here on YouTube. I started talking about it on my social media, and I got a lot of people that were really interested in this. So like, I want to do this with you. Okay. And it's not like me saying you're going to do this or you're going to do that. It's you decide what the goal is. You decide what you want to accomplish. And what we do is, and we'll go into this in a little bit more here too, but what we do is we break it down into what I call 75-day missions. You guys might be familiar with the 75 hard challenge that's out there. I've done that many times. I've done 75 medium, 75 soft, where it's like, nah, not quite, but close enough kind of thing. It's not that at all. What this is I take calendar quarter. So for January, or for 2026, it'll be January, February, March. That's a calendar quarter, right? And so what we are doing is we're starting the next 75-day mission January 15th. So it'll run January 15th to March 31st. And why January 15th? Because that's 75 days to March 31st. That was just my logic for it. And the idea here is that you do 4 of these 75-day missions. That's a year, okay? But in between, you've got roughly a week and a half, 2 weeks or so, where it's like you're not as super duper focused on the goal, whatever the goal might be, okay? Now, this is to help you with something like you're going on vacation and you want to be a little bit more lax. Maybe you're in a mindset of you want to start being more cognizant of your nutrition and you're tracking your nutrition. Well, you want to go on vacation, you want to go out to eat, and you want to have treats, and you want to do the things. So maybe you take a week while you're on vacation, you don't track your food, okay? And now after that week is up, you come home from vacation, it's get back on the horn, get back on it and start doing it again. Okay, it's resilience. That's coming back to it, getting yourself back to it, holding yourself accountable to that. Okay. And so the idea here is that we do these for 75 days, take a little bit of a breather, and then come back to it. All right. And that's part of it is learning how to hold yourself accountable to your goals. And when something does happen, like I said, I broke my leg. How many of you've dealt with injuries, you've dealt with illnesses, you've dealt with job losses, you've dealt with relationship changes, you've dealt with all of the life stuff. All right. And it's not necessarily saying like, I have to be perfect through those moments, but what it is it's saying to yourself, I am experiencing a season of life where I'm going to be a little bit more graceful with myself. But when this is done, when this phase of my life is done, I'm going to come back to this goal. And that's holding yourself accountable to that goal. All right. And I think I've shared this on social media that my dog recently died. And I'm finally able to like say that without tearing up. And it's really hard. And those of you that have had pets, you've had dogs, and it sucks. It's hard. It's really hard. And I spent 3 weeks, a month. I didn't want to let it derail me, but I was, going to the gym, but I wasn't going super hard. I wasn't like doing my normal workouts, but I walked through the door and I said to myself, this is the minimum thing I'm going to do is I'm going to at least get to the gym. I'm going to at least do yoga. I'm going to actually show up and get there. Okay. It's something I call a minimum viable week or minimum viable weekly routine, where it's like, all right, I'm in this season of life right now where it's like, this is what's going on. This is the minimum of what I'm going to get done. And for me, it was, I'm still going to get up and go to the gym. Even if I eat there was one time I went to the gym and I sat in the sauna and that was it. I sat on the massage chairs and that was it. Okay. So it's this idea of like acknowledging that you're in this season of life. You're having this moment, you're having this thing that's going on, and saying to yourself, all right, when this is done, I'm acknowledging that this is going on in my life, but when this is done, we're going back. We're going back to, whatever it is that you're working on. Okay. And it's structure without micromanagement. Like, I'm not telling you what to do. This is This is your goal. This is your thing that you work on. We've got a community of people who are doing this. We cheer each other on. We share ideas. We share goals, that kind of thing. So it's not a diet, not a workout plan. I have workout plans available, if you need help with those kinds of things. We're not trying to change your personality here, and it's not one-on-one coaching or anything like that. It's this idea of creating this community of people who are working on the same thing. So this is something that I call the boring basics. I'm a teacher, like I said. So I create frameworks, methods, systems, all those things to help you remember things. And this is something that we'll be talking about quite a bit in 2026 is the balance framework. This is what I call these are the boring basics. I need a drink. So this is what I call the boring basics. So when I say the boring basics still work, they work. If you've got injuries, illness, that kind of thing, there's other, there's nuance to this, okay? But this is when I'm talking about the boring basics, this is what I mean. So B stands for build strength through movement. So moving your body, doing things like weightlifting, Pilates, yoga, body weight workouts, things like this to help you build strength. Adequate hydration, drinking enough water. L is to lower your stress levels. Notice I didn't say get rid of stress, but L is just having a focused effort on you're going to be stressed out about things. So what kinds of things can you add into your life to help you lower those stress levels? Getting adequate sleep and recovery, nourishing your body and your mind, creating a success plan, and then embracing consistency and accountability. So these are the things that when I'm talking about the boring basics, this is what I mean. And so it's not like you're going to do all of these things. You're just going to jump in and you're like, I'm going to do all these things all at once. And you certainly can if you want. But you might say to yourself, okay, you know what? I really don't drink enough water. So that's what I'm going to work on for the next month is paying attention to how much water I'm drinking and making sure that I'm getting enough water. But this also is very helpful with those seasons of life when, things are hitting the fan and you're drifting and you're like, I'm having a moment here in life that you can look at this and go, okay, well, you know what? I haven't really, for myself as an example, I've been going to the gym. I haven't really been doing my full workouts, but you know what I am doing is I'm still making sure that I'm getting enough sleep at night. I am still drinking enough water. I am still making sure that I'm, reading every single day. I'm paying attention to my nutrition. I'm doing all this other stuff. It's just this one little area that's kind of and I'm not saying to beating myself up over it, that this one little area is where I drifted. And I say to myself, you know what? This is what I'm dealing with right now. I'm going to give myself a little bit of time to grieve the loss of my pet. And then I'm going to, I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to get back to it. All right. So this is also a way to say to yourself, you know what? Maybe you're not doing, when you're getting, really critical of yourself. It's so easy to get so critical of yourself and to get down on yourself and to be harsh on yourself. This is a way to look at it and go, well, you know what? I am doing all this other stuff and I'm doing pretty good at it. Okay. So it's like a little reminder there. So we talk a lot about this in 2026. So how Operation Fit AF works, you pick your yearly goal. We do 75-day missions. They align with the quarters. You get access to workouts. I've got pre-recorded yoga classes. I am adding in live Zoom yoga classes in 2026. You've got some nutrition guides, recipe packs, things like that. And then we've got the community. We've got a Facebook group. It's small but mighty. We're growing. We just started this in 2025, and the more and more I'm talking about it, the more we're getting more people interested in it. So I'm very excited about that. And then I have been doing some live sessions. It's not been anything scheduled. It's really been a topic has come up that everybody wants a little bit of support and guidance on. So we all got on Zoom and did a couple of those. And so we're scheduling those just kind of as necessary, but then I also do pre-recorded workshops, mini workshops on different things. Like we just did one on, how to deal with sugar cravings and, just things like that. So it's a lot of great support for whatever it is that you're working on. So what I wanted to do also today is I wrote a book about this exact topic of just giving yourself a year, just slow down, get back to the boring basics, give yourself a year. So I do have it available on Amazon. You can get the Kindle version right now on Amazon through midnight tomorrow night, Monday, 12/29, midnight. And you can go, if you go to heathermonthly.com/books, there's a link to it there. The book is just literally called What If You Gave Yourself a Year? There's a link to Amazon on there, and you can download it for free. You can take a look at it, read through it. It's not like it's a quick read. It's a motivational read. It's inspirational. It's a quick read, but take your time, read it slowly, read it multiple times. You'll get a little bit of information. I always say, like, when I'm reading a book, if I'm reading a book or doing a workshop or a webinar or something like this, even if I get one nugget of knowledge that I can take back and apply to my own life, I'm happy. So so if you would like, you can download it. It's free. It's there. It's available for you to access it. So let's talk about some frequently asked questions that I get. Here's the printed copy of the book. Like I said, it's a pretty quick read, but it's the Kindle version that's free. So is Operation Fit AF only for women? No, men are welcome. We've just only had women join so far. Is this a weight loss program? No, it could be. It could be if your goal is weight loss. Mine started as weight loss. I wanted to lose weight because I wanted to become a faster hiker. That's what it started as. It turned into, I'm going to do another bodybuilding competition. It turned into me corralling all of these people together who are also working on their same, their own individual goals. In my personal life, in my friend group, I'm that person. I'm the one that, just gets everybody together. Number 3, I'm already working out. Is this still for me? Like I said earlier, we do have people that are like, I need to reel it in. I need some consistency. I need some accountability here. I've kind of drifted off the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and I need to reel it back in. We've got those people. And then we've also got people, like I said, that are already on that like journey. They've already been maybe doing this for a year or 2 years. They've lost 50 pounds or 60 pounds or 70 pounds, or, they're doing these things and now they want to just like get fit or AF. Okay. So if you're already working out 100%, you can do this. You don't have to do the workout plans. I have them there. They're available. We've got some people that they want sculpted arms, things like that. So if you're already working out, this is still totally for you. And then how are the 75-day missions different from short challenges that don't work? So I do say that frequently that let's get off these short challenges, because what happens is we go hard, and then we stop, and then we go back to the old ways. Okay. Now the 75-day missions are different in that the idea is that you do these multiple times. Okay. It's not a go hard, and then stop, and then go hard, and then stop. Right. It's let's do the boring basics for 75 days, focus in on the goal, and then, take a week and a half kind of off a little bit, not thinking about it quite as much, and then teaching you that resilience, that self-accountability to jump back on, come back onto the next 75-day mission. So the idea is that you do set 4 these over a year, and then you've got a year, right? And, if you want to keep going, I would love to have you keep going, whether you do it with me or not. Like I said, I'm going on year 3 of doing this, and I'm having so much fun with it. And then do I have to follow a specific workout or meal plan? Absolutely not. This is your goal. This is your thing that you're working on. Whatever it is that you need to get you there, that's what you're going to do. So if you are, if you're, like I said, if you wanted to do a marathon and you're training for a marathon, it's use this community of people to help you get there, to share your frustrations, share the things you're working on, support each other, rally each other, all that good stuff. All right. So you're not starting over. It's New Year. It's December 28th. A lot of us are thinking about New Year's resolutions, and I don't want you to think about like you're starting over. You're continuing. You're growing from experience. You have that experience. When we talk about learning is a change in behavior as a result of experience. You've got that experience. You're just continuing on with it. So you're building a body for the next decades. We're not trying to like be 25 again. That's not what we're doing here. Just trying to reel it in, be healthy, be strong, and building our 70, 80, 90-year-old bodies today, right? And, I think that as you start experiencing the body transformation, one second. As you start experiencing that body transformation and you start to feel that discipline kicking in, and that's a whole thing we could talk about, but motivation versus discipline. But as that discipline kicks in, that you're doing things even when you don't want to do them because you have to do them to get to your goal, that's going to start spilling over to other areas of your life, into work, relationships, your confidence, just how you present yourself to the world. That's really going to start spilling over. So I want to leave you with this. What if you stopped rushing? And what if you gave yourself a year? All right. So thank you for joining me today. If you have questions, you can certainly email me at heather@heathermonti.com. And I will be glad those questions for you. And I hope if you do consider joining us, Operation Fit AF is the website. You can join for 175-day mission. You can join for a full year. If you're like, I'm in, I want to do this for the full year. I want to be part of this community. I want to get access to the things. Each month I do add more. We've got a portal where we've got, like I said, we've got yoga classes on demand. They're pre-recorded yoga classes. We've got workouts. They're in PDF format. They're not like follow along workouts. I've got recipe packs. And then each month I do add a different workout. It's in PDF format. And in January, we're adding in live virtual yoga classes via Zoom. So that's that. Again, if you have questions, send me an email, heather@heathermonti.com. Thank you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.